Waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch video. And it is Transformers related, of the third-party variety, but it is not really a review, but it kind of is. It's more like a tutorial slash review, and today we are going to be reviewing the ARM upgrade for MM-01. Now, I use the quote unquote during the upgrade is because if you bought the second wave of this, as in if you were more patient than myself and you didn't absolutely have to have this when you first saw it come out a couple years ago, and you got the second wave that just recently came out, you already have this kit installed as I am made to understand it. So this is for all of you folks who are impatient like myself, and this is the upgrade kit of how to give your MM-01 a bit, I guess, better arms. They're a bit more robust in some way, and they do have a little bit of different deco as well. So we're going to take a look at that today, and we'll start off with the box. So the box just comes like this, just says MM-01, just kind of taped on there, and it's pretty much a big brown box. I already took the contents out, but you can kind of see no instructions, by the way, so it's kind of, luckily the process is easy enough, but this is kind of Magnificent Mecha saying, hey, guess what, you're on your own. So that's pretty much it for the box, and it is recycle bin fodder. I'll get my little stand off the table, and we can start taking a look at the contents. They are in this nice plastic tray here. Now, I do have one arm removed and one plate removed, as that I do have one half of this kit already installed, so I could, of course, test my skill at installing it, but we're going to take a look at it in depth. We're actually going to do a comparison look, but I just kind of want to show you this is how everything kind of arrives before that. So there you get your arm, you get a replacement back plate, and you get, of course, two options of exhaust funnels, two of them that came with the original MM-01 figure many years ago, and the other one that was part of the MM-01A upgrade kit, though apparently is now included as an accessory option. So there we go for that. And of course, you do get a new set of screws just like this. I actually reused the old screw. Not sure, I mean, there's no instructions to tell me I can't reuse screws, so and it seemed to work well enough. But anyway, you do get a couple of new screws. We'll use a new screw for the one that I haven't installed yet. And of course, you do get some alternate or optional hand covers that also came with the MM-01A kit, and there we go for that one. I'm not going to install these. I'll put a link in the description below to my MM-01A review, and going over it, I'll show you how to install, where I show you how to install it there, but just to kind of show you what came with this kit. Speaking of the MM-01A, as you're going to watch in this video, if you bought that kit, there are a few accessories with this ARM kit that kind of nullify some of the MM-01A kit options, or they give you a little bit more of an option, but we will get into that. So there is our MM-01 on the table, and of course this MM-01 is no stranger to being on this camera. I think this is like the third video I've done with it, but nevertheless, let's get started with the de-installation process. And to be honest, as intimidating of a figure as this may seem, windshield wipers out of sorts, this is actually a really simple installation process, so no wonder they didn't include instructions, because you really don't need them. So we're going to start off by turning them around. I have already unlocked this to save time, as it can be a little bit of a cumbersome chore. And you just want to bring this back piece down so you're transforming it. And actually, you can kind of pop this off the ball joint just like this, and you can just leave it on. And typically, you know, if you've transformed this a few times, you know, this kind of falls off anyway sometimes, but there it is. Next thing you want to do is you want to lift up this panel all the way, because what you need is you want to kind of move this arm out of this hinge, and you want to kind of move the shoulder pad back, and because you need all this clearance here, and you can see that is the screw we are looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our handy dandy screwdriver, and I'm going to come around here, and I'm going to try to show this on camera, but I really want to be able to, there we go. And we're just going to unscrew the arm just like this. It's just this tiny screw. And there it is. And we can pull that screw out. And then we can, this is just really a press fit. You just kind of wiggle this out while you're pulling. Wiggle it out. Just like that. You can see it's kind of coming out already. And there we go. We're going to move. Now we got MM-01 kind of looking like Prime and Dark of the Moon. But nevertheless, we're going to pause real quick. And we're going to take a look at all the components side by side. So let's talk about some of the little aesthetic changes that this kit provides. And first off, I'll start with the backplates. We already kind of touched on them, but you can see from here that this backplate that came with the ARM kit, it's got a bit more of a kind of dirtied bronze on the circle plate here. Also, the gunmetal is done in a little bit of a lighter shade, giving it a bit better definition. And you can see it feels like they did a bit more dingy, or maybe it's just a darker shade of silver done here on the lower part, but you can see how they did right there, just a little bit of a color shift, kind of a little bit more of a color clashing and variation too. And there we go for the back plates. Then of course the next change is done to the stacks, and this stack is the one that came with the MM-01A kit. This stack is the one that came with the ARM upgrade kit, and you can see the one that came with the upgrade kit is a bit more of a dirtied steel. It's got some mileage on it, and it's got kind of that black soot finish, you know, so this is kind of if you want that new fresh off the lot truck feel, and then this is the bit more he's seen some crap kind of feel. So there we go. And of course, if you like the straight stacks that come with the standard MM-01, it does have an option for that, and they of course have the black soot at the top of the exhaust. It's a bit more dingy right down here, so if you like that look, you can of course go with that. And lastly but not leastly, let's go into what the biggest reason we buy this kit is the arms, of course. And you can see straight off the bat that again the same color definition here. It looks like that the gunmetal is a bit more of a lighter shade. That of course it's got gold, bronzish gold accents right here on the shoulders, got some right here on the wrist. And of course, keep in mind this is the arm that came off. This comes with the this already has, it's part of the MM-01A kit. I didn't bother taking it off, but then of course one of the biggest changes is you can see you have this piece on the arm, and this is just a separate piece kind of to add filler, because you're basically looking at his metal skeleton whenever you try to pose him with the arm out. But this comes with the MM-01A kit. However, if you bought the ARM upgrade kit or the Wave 2 MM-01, you can see that they've already kind of nullified that little filler piece. They already added the detail right here. You get some molded detail, which is actually really cool when you think about it. Just like they're doing it on Wave 2, because you're never gonna pay too much attention here, but just the fact that they're like, oh no, you can see it, I mean, that is really, really cool. Additionally, I would like to point out that these side plates are removable. They are magnetized just like they are on the standard MM-01. So of course, if you do have the MM-01A kit and you want to establish your little wrist guards like I do, you can put that on there, and this is how I'm going to display mine. So I'm just going to put this on right now, just like that. And additionally, you can also, the hands do attach via a ball joint, so you can just plug that right in there, and there you go. And you can probably do that with these standard hands, but everything should plug in just like that. And lastly but not least, you can of course add the stack of your choice. We'll do that real quick, get that on, get him all assembled just like that. And then his arm is pretty much ready to go for reassembly. I'm actually going to change this pad out. Additionally, I do want to point out that it looks like the MM-01A has a bit more glossy of a pad than this. This looks to be a bit more of a dull red, and you get a little more definition and dirt right down here. But I'm going to switch these pads out for whatever, because I have my Autobot symbol and I don't want to reapply another one. So I'll be right back, and then we'll get this thing reassembled. So there's our MM-01. Let's get this guy fully as himself again. So what we're going to do is you're just going to line this up, and you're just going to kind of push this. It is a relatively decent press fit, and it'll go in there quite nicely. And then we're just going to bring in our screwdriver, and we are going to, we already have our screw on the tip, and we're just going to go in, and we are going to film this getting screwed back together. And there we go, and nice and easy, just get it all screwed in. You want it relatively snug when you screw it in, because as I have learned, how tight this screw is going to determine how loose the arm is at this joint. So you want it relatively snug, and that should be good enough. And there we go. And you can kind of bring this in on this hinge right here. And what we could do is we could kind of turn him around, and you want to close this up right here, and you can install his back plate. And again, if you've transformed a few times, this process is probably relatively easy to you, and you just close that up, and then you can close over his shoulder. And like magic, there we have MM-01 with his arm upgrade kit, or I should say upgrade kit. Our MM-01 first wave meant to look like a second wave now, and that actually does look pretty spectacular if we get a good look at him. So of course you see the gold accents on his arm. We got the gold accents with the light really pop right here, and of course I did trade out my little shoulder pieces. Again, he is more dingy with the upgrade kit, but I don't care. I just like my Autobot symbols on there. Got, of course, the soot-filled smokestacks, and then, of course, if we come around to his back, we can see a little more of that bronze detailing, and just like a little more definition in the gunmetal, which looks really, really good. I do got to get this piece switched out. I will do that off camera. We'll finish up with just my final thoughts on this kit. So let's summarize, and yes, it is another magnificent Mecha upgrade kit. Almost 2 years later, and man, this company is still milking this cow for all it is worth. And what can I say? I absolutely love it. I'm a sucker for it. But nevertheless, it is reasonably priced. I think this is about $26 or $27 on Show Z before shipping. And so I think that they already kind of know that this is a limited audience. Obviously, if you have the second wave of MM-01, you should have this issue. You should already have the upgraded arms and all these little nice details on there. So if you were patient and you waited, yay, good for you. And if you were not, hey, you have another option here to add to the already extensive set of options for this character. Now, of course, if you do have the MM-01A upgrade kit, this does negate some of the accessories of that. But of course, if you passed on the kit because it was just too much money and just had a lot of stuff that you really didn't want, but you do kind of want some options to make them look different, then this may be the kit for you, especially since it is more reasonably priced, and of course just has a little bit of installation work and carries just enough to have those added details. But nevertheless, I did pick this up from Show Z store, so if you want to give this kit a whirl on your own, you can pick it up there as well. I do believe it is still in stock. When last I checked an hour ago, I'll post a link in the description down below. And as always, if you found this video fun and informative, let me know by hitting that like button down below. Also, if you're a fan of Transformers, both third-party and official varieties, I do reviews of both of them on this channel, even some mainlines every once in a while, so I encourage you to subscribe and check that out. Thank you so much to the 500 plus of you that already are. I greatly appreciate it. It warms my heart from the bottom of my heart. And that's going to conclude this video. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.